Bhaskar sir. Bhaskar sir.
Yes, sir.
Registrar madam has already joined, it seems.
Yeah, yes,
Could you
sir.
check it up? Joined, ma'am, joined.
Yeah, joined, sir.
Hello.
Okay.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Bhaskaran sir.
Yes, sir.
Director sir உள்ள வந்துட்டாங்களா?
Connected, sir. Already connected, sir.
Connected. Thank you, ma. Thank you very much.
Director, sir, please unmute.
கொஞ்சம் இருங்கம்மா, இது அடிக்கடி டிஸ்கனெக்ட் ஆகுது.
ஓகே சார், ஓகே.
Bhaskar sir.
Yes, sir.
Resource person 2 பேர் வந்துட்டாங்களா?
Already connected, sir.
Okay, thank you. Sir, director sir.
Sir. Hello, sir.
Audible, sir. Okay, thank you.
Audible. தெரியுதா? Face தெரியுதா?
Yes, sir. Visible, sir. Visible.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Bhaskaran sir, shall we start, sir?
Yeah, right now start, sir.
Yeah, please.
A very happy evening to one and all present here. Prayers in the name of Lord for giving us to learn something new. Thanks to our Honorable Vice Chancellor for encouraging and supporting progressive academic and social activities. And thanks to our most respected Registrar Ma'am, Dr. V.S. Vasantha Madam, for her commendable appreciation and advices to conduct this program. Also, we record and acknowledge the ultimate support by our beloved Director, Dr. J. Vijay Sir, Director, Directorate of Distance Education, Madurai Kamaraj University. Also, thanks to the HOD, Dr. R. Menaka Ma'am, Co-Coordinator, Dr. V. Vidya Challam Ma'am, and Dr. T. Meghrajan Sir. Also, we register the technical support by Mr. M. Bhaskar Sir during this 3-day student skill development program. In the past 2 days, we have executed this program as per the schedule. And today, also, we have our resource persons, Mrs. Radha Rani Ma'am and Mrs. Silfa Ma'am, to enrich your skill on the remaining 2. S, it is reading and writing. We appreciate your support and your active listening during this program. And there are 3 instructions to the participants. Number 1, please mute your audio as well as video during the program. The second instruction is that use the chat box in Google Meet or the comment box in YouTube to communicate with the resource person. Do not click the present option in Google Meet. And now it's the time to invite our dynamic director, Dr. J. Vijay Durai sir, convener of this program, to give his welcome and felicitation address. Over to you, sir.
Happy afternoon. It is a great pleasure to join in this valedictory function of the 3-day seminar, the webinar, the Student Skill Development Program on Learn English Today for a Better. First of all, I thank our sincere thank on behalf of Directorate of Distance Education, Madurai Kamaraj University. I thank our Honorable Vice Chancellor, the most respected Professor Dr. M. Krishnan sir. He gave all support and encourage us, motivate us to conduct such a program for the benefit of the students. Almost 125 million students are affected due to the pandemic situation. So the educators, that is the university, colleges, and all other educational institutions, they are having the responsibility to educate the students virtually. So once again, I thank our Honorable Vice Chancellor and the most respected, the Registrar of Madurai Kamaraj University, the Professor B.S. Vasanta Madam. Welcome, Madam, for this giving valedictory address for this 3-day webinar. I welcome you, Madam, and I welcome all the participants across the country. I think more than 5,665 participants are registered, and 200 are they are coming in the Google Meet. Rest of them they are coming in the YouTube. So I welcome all the students, and especially 75% is a student, and then research scholars and professors. Rest of the percentage. So I welcome all of the participants for the 3rd day webinar for the Student Skill Development Program. I welcome you all, and our sincere thank and appreciate all the efforts taken by our organizing secretary, Professor Dr. S. Ilayaraja sir, who arranged such a wonderful as well as very useful to the students in this pandemic situation, in order to develop the communication skill. The very first day in the inaugural address, our Honorable Vice Chancellor, he quoted the importance of the communication skill. So our Honorable Prime Minister is very particular about the skill India, especially to develop the skill among the youth. So among they identified a number of skills. One among this skill is communication skill. So I appreciate the sincere efforts taken by our organizing secretary, Professor S. Ilayaraja sir. So I thank in this occasion. Then I appreciate and thank the co-convener, Professor Dr. R. Menaga, the head, the Department of Management Studies, the Directorate of Distance Education, and the co-coordinators of the Department of Management Studies, Dr. V. Vityachalam and Dr. T. Megarajan. They are giving their cooperation and coordinating for the 3-day webinar. And also our sincere thank to our technology support given by Mr. M. Bhaskar. He is the web designer in IQAC of Madurai Kamaraj University, who gave the technology support very successfully, because it is a difficult one, because accommodating 665 participants in this webinar means we are facing a lot of technology challenges in technology. So Mr. Bhaskar, who made all the arrangements for to reach the students this webinar very successfully, and also I thank the resource persons. They are well experienced and they are certified by the British Council. Mrs. Radha Rani Srinivasamurthy, Madam, I welcome Madam, and I thank your all the efforts for the last 2 days, and today you are going to give a presentation on this seminar. Madam is teaching English to speakers of other language, is a certified trainer in British Council certified band, and also the Cambridge preparatory exams. So I thank you, Madam. And also I thank the another resource person, that is the International English Language Testing System. Madam also is a certified trainer from the British Council. So I welcome Mrs. Shilpa Patija for the last 2 days, and today also is going to present especially in the soft skill and language trainer. I thank my sincere thank. And I want to say a few words about this webinar, because this pandemic situation, in order to motivate the students as well as those who are really participating in this seminar, especially for the communication, because every individual human being having the thoughts, every minute we are having more than 100 of thoughts are coming in our mind. So all the thoughts cannot be expressed to the society or the public. It is not possible. So we should have to scan our thoughts, and we have to convert the thoughts into idea. Then the idea should be properly become converting into the message. It should be reached to the receiver. So this communication, the language is very, very, very important. Since the new educational policy is very particular about the purpose. The world is undergoing the rapid changes in the knowledge landscape. With the rise of big data, machine learning, and artificial intelligence, many unskilled jobs worldwide may be taken over by machines. While the need for skilled labor, particularly involving all the disciplines, mathematics, computer science, and the humanities. So for this, we have to improve the communication skill, so that this situation, our Directorate of Distance Education, especially in Department of Management Studies, they identify the importance of the communication. See, the idea must be properly communicate means the language is very, very important. But then sometimes, idea may be same. When you are passing the information or the message to the higher authority, it becomes a report. If you are sharing this message to the colleague, then we are sharing our communication. Then if you are passing this communication to the subordinate, it becomes a instruction, and we give we are asked them to do. Okay, so sometimes the communication message is same, but the way of communication may be different, depend upon the situation. So in the management, all the manager should have the leadership quality. A successful leader should be a very good communicator. Communicator means they should be proficiency in language, not only the mother tongue, but also the universal accepted language is English. So Really, this topic is very, very significant, and the participants really, because within the 3 days, we cannot give all these things, we cannot cover, but definitely this webinar, it motivates and removing some barriers, psychological barriers, as well as it motivates us, and also it feels some comfort feeling in our mind. So really I appreciate the organizing committee for choosing this topic. And also I want to say an example. There are a number of programs are offered by the universities and colleges throughout the world. For example, the BBA or MBA, the syllabus is same. The Harvard University following this syllabus, the same syllabus can be followed by Madurai Kamaraj University. But the thing is, how we are conducting this program is important. The way of their communication, the way of educating the students is different depending upon the participant and other things. Even now, I can say another example. There are number of movies are coming that subject actually the message may be same, story may be same, the way of presentation is different, the way of communicating and reaching to the society, the way their presentation, that is a different, that is a success of that cinema industry. Likewise, in our regular life also, we have number of thoughts, number of ideas, the way we are expressing, the way we are communicating, it is very, very important. Even in the family, even in the society, even in the organization, even in the workplace, even in any forum, the way of communication is very, very important. And this is a very good topic. I congratulate, appreciate all the efforts taken by the Department of Management Studies, especially in the Directorate of Distance Education, Professor S. Ilayaraja. All the credit goes to him. He successfully conducted one 7-day FDP program. It is very successfully he has completed. Then this seminar also, we are receiving a number of good feedback from the participants. So once again, I thank our Honorable Vice Chancellor giving all the support for conducting this webinar very successfully. And also, we thank our Registrar Madam for giving the support, psychological support, and giving the permission to conduct this type of webinar through the Directorate of Distance Education. I thank you, Madam, and I thank all these coordinators, convener, and the technical support. So thank you so much for this opportunity. Thank you.
You gave us such a warm welcome to all of us, sir, and we warmly welcome you too, and thank you, sir. Now we are inviting our simple, pleasant, and a great women leader, our most respected Registrar Ma'am, Dr. V.S. Vasantha Ma'am, to deliver the valedictory address. We humbly welcome you, ma'am. Over to you, ma'am, please.
Yeah. Respected dignitaries and dear participants, very good evening to everyone. It is my immense pleasure to deliver valedictory address before this August gathering in the webinar on learning English today for a better tomorrow. Before that, I want to start with words of Regan Began. Knowledge of language is the doorway to wisdom. So, communication and language is the main trait of mankind that differentiate him from other species. In course of time, man developed languages to express his wide range of thoughts, feelings, and needs. Today, 6,500 languages are spoken in the world. However, our mother tongue is said to be the oldest of all the languages and also declared as a classical language. Then, why have we been learning English or should learn English. Since the world is becoming a global village, the world is becoming global village, and with the development of science and technology, our lifestyle, our economics and politics and other social aspects are viewed with a global perspective. So to survive and to develop in this global village, the ability to communicate with other parts of the world is very, very, very essential. So the following are the reasons why studying English is very, very important. English is the language of international communication, and English is the official language for 53 countries and is spoken by more than 400 millions of people across the globe. English is the most common second language in the world. English is the dominant business language. Cross-border business communications is conducted in English, and many international companies expect employees to be fluent in English. So it is the language of media. We know that most of the content in internet is written in English. Many of the world's biggest outlets, including TV, newspaper, and magazines, are produced in English. English is easy to travel. With English, we can easy to travel and we can communicate other part of the world. Good knowledge of English helps the students, which is a very, very important. English knowledge will help the students to get a good job all over the world. So mastery over the English language is one of the very important skills, and for the students to establish themselves in the global level. So dear students, skill development program are the greatest opportunities for the students to have a clear vision about the opportunities available to them and their goals for the future. So in this juncture, we are indebted to express our sincere thanks to our Honorable Vice Chancellor for patronizing this program, for encouraging and motivating the students, and also to achieve and raising the potentialities of the excellence of the university, Madurai Kamaraj University. So thank you very much, sir. Even after 200 years of British rule, the students from rural background and back the students to overcome this type of shortcomings, and I truly appreciate Directorate of Distance Education and conveners and organizers for organizing highly useful and essential program like this. So my sincere thanks, appreciation to Miss Radharani Srinivasamurthy and Miss Silpa Padija, resource persons, for enlightening the skills of the learning English language to the students. I firmly hope that participants will find this program is very, very interesting and essential for them. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thanks for your blissful valedictory address with lots of information necessary to be known. Also, very well said about the importance of English in everyone's lifetime. And also, we thank your continual support for academic and student programs. Thanks once again, ma'am, for your inspirational valedictory address. And now I could read many messages in the chat box that you are eagerly waiting for today's session. And without wasting time, now I request our resource person, Mrs. Radha Rani ma'am and Shilpa ma'am, to take up this session. Please, ma'am.
Good evening to one and all. Thank you. I thank Honorable Vice Chancellor, Chief Patron, Professor Dr. M. Krishnan sir, Madurai Kamaraj University for giving the permission for the skill development program and also giving permission for us to conduct this program. Thank you, sir, for your inaugural address also. It was very motivating and we could, with that power-packed energy, conduct a three-day program. I thank Patron Professor V.S. Vasanta Ma'am, Registrar, Madurai Kamaraj University for the valedictory address, ma'am. Thank you. I also thank convener Dr. J. Vijayadurai sir, Director, Directorate of Distance Education, Madurai Kamaraj University for the felicitation address, sir. Many valuable things were there in Registrar Ma'am's and Director Sir's message. Students have to take those messages, understand the importance of why English is a global language, why it is important, and we have to thank them all for the permission granted. I also extend my thanks to co-convener Dr. Menaka Ma'am, Head of the Department, MBA Department, Directorate of Distance Education, Madurai Kamaraj University for all the permission, support and encouragement. Thank you, Menaka Ma'am. I also thank Professor S. Ilayaraja Sir, Organizing Secretary, MBA Department, Directorate of Distance Education, Madurai Kamaraj University for all the support from the beginning. He had given us more of encouragement, motivation and support to do this program and it should be a grand success, hopefully, yes. So, I also thank Dr. V. Vidyachellam ma'am and Dr. T. Meharajan sir, the co-coordinators of MBA department for the skill development program, Madurai Kamaraj University, for all the support given to us and to the skill development program organizers. I also thank Mr. M. Bhaskar, the technical support person who has always been there for us. Whatever doubts we had asked him, he had helped us throughout the program. Thank you, Bhaskar sir. Without you, I can't even share my slides. I know you taught me everything. Thank you, sir. Okay. Last but not the least, I thank all my participants for their cooperation, for their active participation. Chat messages and questions, it wouldn't have been a lively program, I know. Thank you, participants. The program is for you, conducted by Madurai Kamaraj University, and I welcome you all. A warm good evening to one and all present here. I again thank the dignitaries for their permission, encouragement, and motivation. Thank you. So, we are going to begin today's program. Reading. So if you see, reading and writing are the two skills to be covered in today's skill development program. The first day we saw why English is important and what is the purpose of this program, and also the integration of listening, speaking, reading and writing in the English language. The second day was speaking and listening. We also saw how to improve speaking by using the listening skill. How to listen, what kind of strategies and tips for listening will help us to improve our speaking skills. We had a lot of questions coming up and we had even tried to answer a few of it. Yes, today being the last day and the final day, we are moving into reading and writing, which are the basic two skills like listening and speaking. They are also parallel skills. So reading, yes, we all do reading in our day-to-day life, knowingly or unknowingly. You just step out of your house. You want to see which is the medical shop or which is the salon you look for. You just read the boards. All boards are not only in the regional language anywhere you go. And you are all more comfortable. Say we are all more comfortable only looking at the English boards mostly. because it is so set up in the mind that when you look at it, you just recognize and identify that. So unknowingly or knowingly, without our knowledge, we had been reading English a lot. Let's see what are the skills in reading. Reading an essential skill. Reading is one of the most important academic skill used by students. Yes, the moment you entered into your school, you started reading letters or small words or whatever it may be, you started reading. And it is also equally important in the commercial working world. You can't deny that. You can't say I'm reading only in schools and colleges, but I don't read in the workplace. Many of us even forget our reading and writing skills many years after working, But actually we say that, but we are not practically doing that. We are doing a lot of reading. Let's see the examples of reading here. In daily life, if you see reading newspaper and articles in the phones, you read many articles in the phone, like about the Lebanon blast and COVID-19 and things like that. Chatting and texting. Yes, chatting and texting, if you see WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, always you're doing that, mostly. It is nothing but reading and replying back, reading and writing forms, that's all. Browsing websites, yes, without reading what is a website and what is listed there, which website you want to choose, you can't select websites. So reading 100% you're doing. Form filling, for example, in the e-commerce website, you have to buy something. So even before you buy or you book your tickets, you need to fill your basic details, email ID, name, phone number, and all those things. So you fill up a form, you read what is asked there, and then you fill it up or type it. That is form filling. Okay, now academics, you all know very well, I needn't tell you. Reading subject books, note making for lectures, taking notes and reading that, and reading for exams. Yes, you read a lot your subject books for exams, and also seminars. You have to take reference. So you can't pick out essential reference material without going through a book. It is impossible. Not a book, many books in fact. So how is reading in jobs? Knowing all this, you can see how reading plays an important role in the commercial working world. Proofreading. Many of your job designations either include many of this or few of this, some of this, or even you will be a proofreader. You may be a documentation person, but you read in some form, undeniably. It is proofreading, documentation, training and presentation, and business correspondence. Business correspondence, every person in the workplace does that. It is either Gmail, email, or documents, or sending memos and letters, business letters, anything is business correspondence. So undeniably, reading is an essential skill, and it is there in daily life, academics, and also jobs. Over to you, Shilpa ma'am.
Yes, thank you, Radha. And so, as we can see, reading has sub skills. So, as we all can see that it's skimming, scanning, intensive, extensive, and detailed. So, what is skimming? Generally, I would like to give you an example before I start. So, when you just enter into a library and you look for a particular book which you want for your reference, and you just quickly, move around your fingers or your eyes to get the kind of book which you want. So skimming is nothing but looking for a particular, like for example, looking for the gist. When you read a text in a newspaper or when you read something, when you look for what is the specific information given there, that is called skimming. Okay. Now coming to scanning, looking for a specific information in the newspaper, like if suppose you want to know what is the rate of gold today, or you want to know when you look for a job, when you enter into the classifieds column, right? You check for the particular column for the designation which you are looking for. For example, if I'm looking on for a job of a teacher, then I would just look into the classified columns where the teacher post requirement is there. I would not read the whole newspaper just to get the kind of information which I want regarding jobs. Right. Intensive is again nothing but reading for academics. As Radha ma'am just said, your academics, when you read your books in schools, your colleges, your lectures, when you have to present, when you read through a particular information which is there on a website, that is called intensive. You intensively look for what information you can give to the participants or what information you can gather to share with others. So extensive reading is nothing but reading materials like magazines, novels, comic books. So extensive, okay, like, in this kind of a reading involves all the skills, like it involves skimming, scanning, and your kind of detailing also. You look for detail. For example, when you look for a particular information, in for example, what color dress was the girl wearing, like Cinderella? When you take a comic book like Cinderella, so what color of a dress, a costume? So when you emphasize on that one particular word, it's again you scan for that one particular word. Detail is nothing but reading a story or subject books. So to read, getting a meaning out of every word. That means every word you look for a meaning. That you get to understand what is the whole point about the subject which is spoken in the text. Next slide, please. So here, when you see, reading is actually a very good habit to cultivate if you really want to do well. So as reading is also related to writing and speaking. So how reading can help you in writing and speaking? How it can help? It's like when you read, you come to know many words, new words. You may find, even if you read one paragraph in a newspaper, you will find there will be words which are really a little difficult to understand, which is really, you may not know the meaning. You may feel that you know it, but it would not be the right meaning. So motivation is nothing but motivate yourself. What kind of books are you interested in reading? For example, I am a person who can read a biography of a person very interestingly. So I would choose that kind of a book and I would like to complete it. Whereas if I look at a big book which is about biography and I'm not interested in biography of a person, then I will not look into the whole aspect of reading the book or completing it. I may start very well, but I may not fully complete it. But if I'm interested in biographies, and I will choose that topic. So self-motivation is nothing but you motivate yourself by first understanding the taste of what kind of a subject or topic you like to read. For example, if you see, there are many people who are into business, right? So when they enter into a business scenario, they look for opportunities in business, what they can develop. So they will read books like business magazines, which will help them to know more about the market. Okay, education, if you're interested in teaching or if you are interested in learning a language to develop your skill, then you will read more on books on vocabulary, more books on grammar. You understand? So it's like motivation is self-motivation, like understand your taste in reading. So confidence is nothing but when you start reading, the confidence level which you have will automatically increase in using the language more efficiently, be it for speaking or for reading, for writing. So writing is also an important skill as we are going to discuss that today, right? So the ability is nothing but what kind of books am I able to understand? The ability to understand the books which I need to read, the able form of the context which I want to read. Okay, the next slide, please. Okay, importance of vocabulary, okay, I have to do that, sorry. Importance of vocabulary. Fine, so it's nothing but reading through a book is reading a pile of words and traveling to a new realm. That means entering a new world of wisdom. The word realm here means entering into quite a vast world of enhancing your word skill development, the sentence formation, everything. Okay, vocabulary plays a fundamental role in the reading process. So how does vocabulary play an important role, you may ask? Once you read, as I said, even a one paragraph in the newspaper will help you to learn many new words which you may not know. Reading, now here there is kind of a quote, symbol which is there is equal to. So it is an reading is equal to combination of known words plus unknown words. So what is a combination of known words? The known words are something which we already know. For example, a small word called seminar. You know the meaning of seminar. A small word called presentation. You know the meaning of presentations. Plus unknown words. Now, what are the unknown words here? The unknown words are nothing but the context in which the known words are used with the unknown words. So when you mingle together, you can understand or you can come to the gist of what the whole thing is about, whole passage is about. So the next slide, please. Radha. Okay, now before we enter into this is a kind of a small activity which we have for you. Again, you have to use the chat box for a couple of seconds. Like you can see, there are two pictures there, but avoid the right one. Take the left one into consideration. Experienced IT engineer will sort out problems with home computers, that is PCs and Macs. Phone the computer doctor now for a free estimate. So when you read this, what can you interpret? What can you understand that what is this about? Can anybody write? Just tell me. Yes, advertisement. I agree. Somebody has typed. Pawani has typed advertisement. Yes, job advertisement. Okay, what is it displaying? What is it telling? What kind of a job is it? Yes, what is it? What kind of a job? Vijay says ad, okay, wanted, IT, servicing, exactly. Bhavani, servicing. So what kind of servicing? You're again very vague. You have to say in a specific, your computer service, your computer technician. So this is so you have interpreted what is that advertisement asking for. It's declaring something. That means it's declaring that I am a computer service engineer where I can service your PCs and your any kind of a computer accessories which you have. It may be PCs, it may be your laptop, it may be anything, isn't it? Okay, thank you. So the next slide, please. Okay, there are two more. So you can see the left one again. Okay, do you have the ability to care for others? Can you understand how older people feel? Are you a good communicator? Do you have a good listening skill? Can you I'm sorry, it's not very clear. Can you work weekends? I'm sorry, can you work weekends? So what kind of advertisement would this be? Could you please type again one word? Yes, caretaker. Shukra, that's a great answer. Okay. And ad for nurse for adults. Exactly. Okay. Wani. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, wanted of old age house management. Yes. So a good communicator. See, even this kind of advertisement is looking for communicative skills. Okay, nurse, counseling. Okay, Brian, it's not counseling, it's caretaking. Okay, fine. So it's nice to see that you're able to understand and interpret what the message says. So once you read, now what did you read? You learn. What did you read? You read for a specific information. You use the particular word to find out what is that advertisement about. So that is called looking for keywords. When you look for keywords, you understand what is the whole ad about. You don't have to read whole thing. So did you skim or did you scan here? Of course. Did you skim or scan? Did you skim or scan for the particular kind of advertisement which you learn? Skim, yes. You scan, okay. People have a varied option, okay. So some people would have looked only for quick readers, would have just got the particular word and they would have scanned it. Okay, what kind of a job? Now your skimming was not required to read fully unless otherwise, if you can see the initial words, do you have the ability? See, now these words are all very common, isn't it? These are the known words. Now what are the unknown words? You have to be understood to people, right? So this is what it is. So moving on to the next slide. Thank you so much for all your participation, active participation in the chat box. Okay, Radha, over to you.
Thank you, Shilpa. Reading, yes, it's an important skill, and we saw the different types of reading. Knowingly, we are reading our academic books, and it is intensive, extensive reading plus reading for detail. Whereas if you read for newspaper or articles, it is skimming and scanning mostly. And when you read the boards, the kiosk, in a theater or somewhere else in the railway station, it's mostly skimming and scanning. We are so used to that. So why should we develop our reading habit? When I have internet, technology, Google, why should I develop my reading habit? Reading becomes very, very essential because once you stop reading, it's very difficult to regain the habit, you know. Okay, let me ask a simple question here. How many of you still read books, not articles in your phone or not the Google reading or something like that? How many of you still read, and what's the percentage you read? Is it 20%? I'm a poor reader, I don't read at all. 40 to 50%, maybe once in a month, once in 50 days or something like that. And 80 to 100%, I am a good reader, I have reading habits often. So yes, I'm getting answers. 30, 40, 50%, very good. Yes, 20%, you must improve then. 90%, very good. Please strike an analysis. I used to read books, but now I had a break and I'm struggling to get back. Yes, when you break your reading habit, you struggle to get back to reading. It's a very, very good habit. That's why we teach children also read bedtime stories. Begin reading. It will help you a lot. You know, reading relieves all your stress. It is scientifically proven. When you start reading, you travel to another dimension into the story or whatever you are reading, and you relax your mind. It's a skill which hits your brain directly. Listening hits your ears. It also goes to the brain. But this hits the brain. You acquire the word structure beautifully, actually. The sentence formation when you read. That's why even from first standard, we encourage children to read. Yes. So if I'm not a good reader, say I don't read at all, I don't like reading, why don't you try reading? Because you will acquire more of words and the language itself. You will be a better person in your speaking and writing. This is also proven. So, tips to enhance your reading. When you look at a book, if it's a big book or a very little complicated book, you know, you think, oh my God, why should I read this book? I can rather do something in the internet. I can watch a movie. Yes, I can watch Netflix. I can do something in the internet which is AV instead of taking a book and reading that. It doesn't hit us so much, you know, but we have to read. Say, you have to motivate yourself with reading, starting with small 75 pages book. Just take it as a challenge. Can I read this book in 2 days? Let me see how my speed reading is. What's the capacity of my reading? Let me read it. Okay, move on to the next level. Take another 75-page book, read it, and give a gist of it. You can cross-check with the gist in the back cover of the book. Give a gist of the story you have read. How good am I in doing this? These are all very simple exercises, you know, to improve your reading as well as your vocabulary and your English language ultimately. Let's move on to the tips in the slide. Find your taste in reading, the kind of books you like. Yes, there is fiction, there is thriller, there is romance, there is novel, there are journals, magazines, weekly magazines, so many things. My favorite book is Reader's Digest. From so many years ago, my favorite book is Reader's Digest. I love reading Reader's Digest. So you can find Which book do I like a lot? And start picking up those books. Make an effort. Go to the library, become a member. These are all very small things. If you have to improve your language, you have to do these things. Start reading at a simpler level. Yes, I said journals, weekly magazines, storybook. Even read on the internet, it's okay, even audiobooks. But if you read a book, you acquire more, something more than the internet reading, I'm telling you. Make it a daily practice. Read every day for 20 minutes minimum. If you leave reading habit, it's difficult. I could see the chat box messages also. So move ahead, read more, enjoy reading. Actually, reading is fun. It relaxes your brain, it relaxes your stress. Reading is fun. So please do it. If you agree with me, please give me an answer for this. And you can also put why you are not able to read. Why is it not a practice for you? You can put it in the chat box. If we are able to spend a few seconds, we can do it. Definitely we will follow. That's very nice. Today a reader, tomorrow a leader. Yes, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam was a voracious reader, if you know. Otherwise, which he wouldn't have come to this position of the missile man. Yes? Okay. So, moving on to writing. One of the most important skill, writing. Okay, so if you see, writing happens in schools. Yes, you would have written compositions, essays, your exam question paper answers, and lectures, your classwork, your homework. Then there was an upgradation when you moved into colleges. So, writing in colleges, is there any variation to writing in colleges? Are you writing on your own in colleges? Is there a necessity to write on your own? Yes. Can I get some answers? Yes. Okay. So is it difficult or is it easy when you move on from your school where you have a very definite system of writing? Teachers give you the answers typically and you just give it back. Difficult. Okay. Why difficult? Ma'am, really it's necessary. Okay. In college we write on our own. Yes. So easy when used to it. Moderate. Okay. When we know the strategies to write, it is easy. Difficult to memorize. Okay. Let me move on. If you see, everyone finds, most of them find writing a difficult task when you move into colleges. Why is it so? Yes, because in schools you don't write on your own. Mostly it is the subject area where you have to take the book, read, take the guide, in fact, in many schools, write question answers and finish the examination. But if you see in colleges, seminars, many note making things, lectures are not printed sometimes. You have to develop, college gives you the opportunity to develop your own writing skills, assignments, all these things you need to do it on your own. So when are you going to develop if you're not able to develop in colleges? You need to do that. In the workplace, no one will give you a draft of an email or a business letter in business correspondence. You have to draft an email. You have to draft a letter. You cannot expect the other person to give it. So if you don't know the style of writing, if you don't know words, what word to put in where in the context, you cannot do writing at all. You would have sensed that. It becomes really difficult. Okay. If you see, writing, an essential element of communication. Yes, it is essential. An essential job skill. Yes, and effective than telephonic conversations. Let me give you a simple example. Those who are in the college final year, even the third year or the fourth year, and those who are trying for jobs, your CV. Yes, your CV becomes a very, very important piece of paper. It's an essential element of communication when you send it to the person. Yes, the HR, when you send it to the company. If you're not able to put it properly, then what will be the impression? You're not communicating what you want to communicate, what degrees you have, what paper presentations you have done. You're not communicating it effectively. An essential job skill. Yes, if you don't have this skill of writing a CV of your own achievements and whatever you have done, so how will you do the other things, other forms of communication? It is an essential job skill, writing. So, seeing that, the person may also decide, the HR, okay, he is good in writing, he is good in communicating, so I can call him for an interview. Effective than telephonic conversations. Even before they call you for an interview, or even when they think they can conduct the telephonic interviews, like how we are having it now, it is the CV which says everything about you, whether to call you for a telephonic conversation or not. Should I call him or shouldn't I? So it is more effective than telephonic conversations. Now, if you see, you have many infographic resumes, templates you have. So you can create it more effectively, but still it is on the paper. It is effective form of communication, undeniably. Yes, if you see this slide, it says writing is a productive skill. Why? Because when it's a basis upon which one's work, learning, and intellect will be judged. Yes, if you write your answers very well, you get 90 out of 100. If you don't write your answers well, then you just get some 35, 40, and it's just pass. If you see, even in your workplace, if you're not able to communicate effectively, write a proper email, if you're not able to write a proper email in the workplace, then it directly shows on what kind of communication you have. What have you learned? Writing skills are an essential element of communication. Excellent writing skills enable you to communicate your message with precision, correctness, exactness, sureness, efficiency, and accuracy, and cure to a greatly wider audience. See, if you write too much, no one has got the patience to read what you're saying. Even the resumes have to be in one page now. That is what the corporate world demands. They don't want to read papers and papers, pages and pages. Any form of business correspondence should be short and sweet. They don't want you to write emails more than 35 to 40 words, if you see. And the message should be very, very crisp. That is what is the expectation of any manager or anybody in the workplace. But if you don't deliver or communicate what is the main point or the main reason you have to say, then it's a failure. Let's go into types of writing by Shilpa ma'am.
Yes, Radha, thank you. So as we already discussed in the previous slide, what are the different kinds of writing, your resumes, your emails, your letters, your memos. So these are like drafting. When you have to draft, that means when you have to create something on your own. For example, email, like you have to give a response which is again connected with the mail, right? So letters and memos, like letters, we all know today's date we don't write any letters after this kind of a technology has come up, and memos are nothing but, I would like to throw light on all these small things which are there, but they are very crucial. So memos are nothing but a specific a specific information which is given to the company, to the group of people in the company. It is like something which is put up on a notice board, telling them what are the instructions that they have to follow. Like for example, suppose my company is going to work or change the timings from next week due to COVID. So I'm going to put up a memo on the board saying that the new scheduled timing would be so and so. So this is a kind of piece of information which is given commonly to all the people who are working in a company, right? So comprehending is nothing but understanding in depth. For like documents. Documents may be any legal documents here. So you come to a conclusion like when you have a kind, when you have a document which is related to a house, which is called your sale document or your agreement document which you carry. For example, when you enter into a rental property, you have a document which is signed. Any legal document can be considered here as a document. And contracts is nothing but signing a contract of memorandum of understanding, like when you have to show a copy which has to be carried by both the parties. So that's a contract which you sign. A contract may be a business contract, a contract may be a job contract, a job contract may be a designation contract which you sign when you have to join your job, right? Editing is nothing but editing content and blogs. So whatever there'll be a huge content. See, everything which is printed today on the newspaper, it was not written that one paragraph or two paragraphs. It was written on a huge. So you have to have a good command on the language, the vocabulary, the sentence, the grammar, to understand that the sentence structure properly falls in place. It is understood more aptly and more precisely rather than being elaborated. So that is the reason whatever the content is there. Even your content may be what is there in your books, in your educational books, whichever you read for your syllabus. Okay, the blogs are nothing but small advertisements again, which they create. Blog, you must be knowing today. You all are in this generation. You create a blog for yourself, stating that what is your strength, and then you put it up, right? Resume and books creating. So again, as we have already discussed, resume is again an important and a crucial element which is taken into consideration when you have to join an organization. So that covers everything. You have to be, though you may have to use small words, but again, spellings, punctuations, everything plays a vital role when it comes to creating. Creating is nothing but writing something. For example, when you use open inverted commas and close inverted commas, that is, you might have seen in storybooks, those are the sentences which are said by a particular person. So those kind of creative writing skills. So you can also create your own writing skills. Like for example, the simplest way you can, to enhance your writing skills, you can start writing a diary on your day-to-day life. What did you do from this morning till you went to bed? So these are the small things. So as we was telling you about speaking, so before even you speak, you can write what you want to speak. You can write what you want to tell your friend about. So you can start writing short sentences which will give a clear description of how your day was. That is what is diary writing. So for example, I woke up early today, but I was feeling very lazy and tired. So again, spellings and punctuations also play a very, very vital role in writing. Pronunciation, and that's all in speaking. So when it comes to writing, your sentence formation, the grammar part, the spellings, the punctuations, all this play a very important role. Next slide, please, Radha. So what are the barriers now? As we saw the barriers in listening, we saw the barriers in speaking since yesterday, and today we have to even understand what is that which is stopping me to get started with. So getting started is always the hardest part, right? If you have to start something new which you're not used to, it is really difficult to enter into that scenario. So the hardest part is the beginning. So as I said, start writing your own diary, your own routine which you do every day, and you can see how it develops. And then you have no idea. Like for example, if suddenly I tell you to write the lesson which I teach you today, and I tell you to write immediately, you may say, I don't have any idea because I have not read it, I have not gone through it. So let me take some time. right? So that's how. So when you have no idea about even the starting of, say, for example, you want to start writing a book. See, nobody was born a good, an expert. So even as you go step by step, that is how it will help you to develop any skill for that matter. So expressing ideas in English, that is lack of vocabulary, direct translation from mother tongue to English. So lack of vocabulary, as we keep telling you, the vocabulary enhancement is very easy. Even the pronunciation, as we said, it's actually very easy. So vocabulary enhancement can be done by just starting even with a paragraph. Start reading a paragraph from tomorrow in the newspaper. You will come across there are so many words which you don't know the meaning, which you may feel that I have to find out the meaning for this. So don't rest until you find it, and keep enhancing your vocabulary skills through these kind of small tips which we are giving you. Direct translation from mother tongue to English, yes. Okay, when you don't know how to translate it directly, see, so that's the reason we tell you start thinking English. Don't start thinking in your mother tongue. When you want to say, for example, hey, shall we go for a movie? So start thinking in English. Don't start with your mother tongue. It may help you, but the alignment of the subject-verb agreement here is a lot of difference. Okay. Organizing ideas logically is again when you don't know how to organize the ideas logically, you may know what to write, but you don't know how to put it in place. So it will all be done when you just understand where I have to start, what I have to, introduction, body, and the conclusion. As we say, these are the three main elements. Introduce your topic, then the body, you have to use what you're going to say. For example, if I stay in Coimbatore today, I want to write about my city, right? So I have to start with introduction. So introduction will be from why Coimbatore am I right? Why is it that I'm writing about Coimbatore? Okay, then the body. Okay, what and all Coimbatore is famous for, and then the next part will be conclusion. So this is what the ideas logically here mean. So put your ideas a step by step process. Thank you, Radha. Next slide, please. So the structure and writing, Radha, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Shilpa, for all this. Yes, barriers in writing, everyone's got barrier in speaking as well as writing. If you see in speaking, it is hesitation, fear, lack of vocabulary. But when you speak to a person face to face in a direct situation, it is actually fear which crops in first. But in writing, if you see, yes, we don't have the fear because we are not directly writing to the person. We're just writing it on the paper. We can even sit in one corner of the room and write, but it is going to be validated. It is going to be read by somebody there. They're going to give you some feedback. In the workplace, it's a feedback. It's also a target. You get the order, you don't get the order. Your manager accepts your email or he doesn't accept. You're even writing to an unknown person, business letters, correspondence. In the exam, you have to get marks, you have to pass. So wherever writing is, please take away the barriers, structure your writing. It is very, very simple to structure your writing. The writing process, if you see, has got 5 simple steps. Brainstorm. We all brainstorm our ideas. Say, for example, if you have to, your family is having some ceremony, they have your brother's marriage happening. So you sit as a family, all the members, and you start planning. That is basically brainstorming. So you do it individually. You just think, what is the topic of the essay, or what should I write? And then start putting in ideas, just the key points, that's all. For example, if I have to write an essay on global warming, just for example, what is global warming, what are the factors, advantages, and how you can cause and effect, how can you overcome this, any tips, recommendations, predictions. Just write the subtitles, just write key phrases and rough draft. Organize your thoughts. Just write phrases for this. Which one will come first in the first paragraph? Which can you put in the second paragraph? It's just error correction. Delete things which are not good. put something else. Google, if you don't have Google in the exact exam scenario or something, you can just, your brain is the biggest Google, I tell you. So you must read and accumulate knowledge and keep it so that you can use it in your speaking and writing. Make a rough draft. See if your rough draft is right. Edit it and publish it. Brainstorm. Think about your topic. Write down your ideas. Can you use a thinking map? Yes, this is a wonderful thing, you know. Even I teach my students this. You create the word, put the word in the middle. Just make questions. What, where, when, why, how. So write the answers, just 2 words for what. Say, for example, summer holidays. What are summer holidays? When does the summer holidays happen? So how do you enjoy your summer holidays? What do you do in your summer holidays? What is the best thing of summer holidays? Going to grandma's village. So just make a mind mapping. Your whole 100 words essay will be there in front of you. I have taught this and my students have experienced this. You can take it. Rough draft. Organize your thoughts into a piece of writing.
Radha, sorry.
Yes.
Slide, please. Slide is not visible here. Yeah, fine.
Thank you. Rough draft, yes. Revise. Reread your writing. Error correction can be done here. Spell checks can be done here. Your grammar can be checked here. Even in the edit, correct spelling, grammar, capitalization, punctuation, because while speaking, only the stress, the tone, the intonation, everything will be taken into consideration. When you're writing, your spelling, your grammar, your punctuation, all these are taken into consideration. So the parameters for speaking is different, writing is different. That is why edit is coming here. Publish, rewrite with edits in place, share your writing with others. Yes, you're done with the article. These are very 5 simple steps. You can follow that. Okay, if you see in writing, there are many things like creative writing. There are workshops, online workshops happening, how to write a story. Yes, how to do creative writing, how to write poems. But basically, everyone needs the email writing in the workplace. So we are just dealing with email writing today, email etiquette basically. If you have to plan writing an email, you need a few things. You need to plan a few things. Many of you would have written emails. So are you all well versed with emails? Whom do you write emails to? If it is college students, also fine, or working members also, please type in the chat box. You write emails to your friend, your relatives, or your, hierarchy managers. Yes? Is the PPT visible?
Yes, Radha, it is.
Okay. So friends, family, job application, very good. Principal, lecturers, professional, formal, informal, attending classes in Google Classroom. Wow, that's awesome. Forms, okay. Senior college people, teachers, hierarchy managers. Yes. So emails play a very important role in our lives. Sometimes even to our friends, we try to write emails. That's very casual and informal, so we can just use our even the slang, sometimes words, hi and have you, all those things. But in a formal setup, you cannot use the informal style of words. You have to use business English words or the formal English words when you write emails. The art of communicating electronically in the professional world. Yes, writing email is an art. If your email is not understandable to the person, what happens? Imagine, if it is too long for 60 words, who will read your email? if you don't put the proper phrase in the subject line. So someone is not going to open your email at all. They're just going to skip it. If your greeting is not good, what will be the impression you are going to take forward in the other words and things? How much ever you say sweet words in your lines, if you don't greet them with a proper greeting, you're not going to satisfy them. So, art of communicating electronically in the professional world is, of course, email. People who address emails in the workplace will know the sentence better. They'll understand it because they would have faced even difficulties. Let's move into the parts of an email. Subject line. Yes, be professional, clear, and concise. Summarize the purpose of the email in a few words. If you see, the subject line shouldn't be more than 5 words. Job application, permission, asking for permission, email of cancellation. So just max 5 words. It shouldn't be too big. It is not recommended. Summarize the purpose of the email. Yes, if you're writing to ask for a leave application, you can say, or asking for leave, you can say. So make it short. Greeting. So when you start, sometimes we start, dear Mr., dear Miss, or even sometimes we start respected. It is the usual formal way in Indian style, or doctor. Yes, avoid informality such as names or hey. Yes, if you say in the Cambridge style, they use the second name. Yes, it is accepted. But in Indian scenarios, emails are written with Mr. person's name or dear Mr. the person's name. Email body. So the body of the email shouldn't be more than 30 words. It doesn't look good, or it doesn't appeal to the person who's reading because it is too long. Emails are actually very short form of messages, if you see. So you need to be clear of what you need to say in an email. If you think the functions, asking permission, cancellation, and if you are requesting for something, you are giving some information to others. So just think, what is the function? Apologizing, asking for a sorry. So what is the function you're actually planning there? And according to the function, please frame the sentences with those phrases. I'm writing this email to inform you all that the office campus or the office building is shifted from this place to this place. So you're giving information. The meeting is cancelled and it is to be held on so and so date. So please understand the function and then phrase it accordingly. Be concise and do not ramble. Yes, moving upward and downward, fumbling, all those things is not allowed in professional emails. Use professional wording throughout the email. You need to use formal words, business English vocabulary. If you Google, you will find out business words are very, very important when you write an email. Closing. Yes, if you take the email body, it is into 3 parts, where it is the opening statement. Hope you're in pink of your health. It is for informal situations. But you can also start saying, this email is to inform you that. You can start that way also. So it's the opening sentence, then the body of the email, and the closing sentence where you close it with some statements like expressing your gratitude, looking forward for something, a job application which you have already sent. Yes, respect for their time. Thank you for your valuable time reading my email, and please get back if you have any further clarifications. Acknowledging, it can also come as the closing line. Call to action or a clear deadline. The article has to be submitted before. The closing date for the submission of this article is. So create a signature with all of your contact information. Just putting your name doesn't have good value here. You need to put your name. Your designation, in fact, is very, very important. If you're in a company, your designation, the name of your company email ID, and your phone number is very, very important, because the client will not be looking for your phone number somewhere else. When he sees the email, when you give all these details, it will be easy for him to reply also. Just copy paste the email and send a reply. So you must be smart enough to put all the details so that you don't make him search for something and miss the order. That is why they say it is very, very important, especially in companies, in professional places. So once you're done with all this, please proofread, because 5% of the mistakes are taken away when you proofread something. Anything, be it an essay, composition, any draft, documents, emails, business letters, when you proofread, definitely 5% of the mistakes are eliminated. 95% your work is done. So the 5% may be the mistakes. It is eliminated. So make sure there are no typos, grammatical errors. Be consistent. Yes, your formatting should be, you should use the sequence there. Your wording should be in proper context. Bold important dates. Yes, you can make it bold, or information, and avoid colors. Yes, you can also try to give some bullets, points, listings if you feel so. So proofreading plays an important role in writing emails. So there are many phrases available in the internet according to the function. You can take those phrases and put it in place if you don't know what phrase will appear there. And Google also gives you suggestions. You can actually learn by doing that. Yes, so I think I have covered all of the email information. And now coming to the end of the session, reading and writing. Yes?
One moment, can I just add a few tips on this?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay, I'm sorry, but actually when you write an email, you have to align it on the left side. That is, you have to give alignment on the left. We generally write letters which are spaced after the next paragraph. So you have to check on the spacing, and you have to also be very particular about the alignment, which is to be left aligned. So you cannot start a sentence in the middle of the paragraph, the previous paragraph. And one more thing which I would just like to say is the spacing here and the bold letters. So bold letters is avoid bold capital letters. That is, bold letters are okay only on the specific dates. And for example, if it's a seminar, you can underline that bold and write seminar. But capital letters are generally avoided, and except otherwise, when you start a sentence, you can use capital letters. Thank you, Radha.
Thank you, Shilpa. We have come to the fag end of the session. The reading and writing aspects are very, very important, like listening and speaking. All the 4 skills in English language are very important. If you have to develop your English language, you must give equal importance to all the 4 skills, because all your regional languages are made up of these 4 skills. Likewise, if you have to become a good communicator in English language, you need to know all these 4 skills. We can't just focus on speaking and writing and leave listening and reading. It doesn't make sense, because a language is made up of all these 4 skills, and English is also made up of these 4 skills, if you see. So, you know the integration of listening, speaking, reading, and writing. And now you know how important it is to learn the language. Yes. So, we have come to the end of the session where you can type your doubts in the chat box or you can ask your questions. We'll be very happy to answer this for another 15 minutes. Yes.
Radha, there's a question that signature part in mail ought to be added. Can you please address that?
Yes.
What can be added in the signature?
Yes. Signature part. What is the question, Shilpa? Can you please repeat that? It's disappeared in my chat box.
It's asking what can I add at the signature place? What can be added as a signature?
See, you have to add your name. Signatures are not electronic. If you have an electronic copy of your signature, you can copy paste, and otherwise you can add your name. That is enough. But your designation is very, very important in the workplace, I mean.
So just to throw some light on this a little more, you can just write your name and your designation and your also the the email ID if you want to add and for the reply. So what post you hold, that's more important to add in an email. For example, if you're the assistant manager or the manager below, you have to close that with that salutation. So that's it. You have to put your name and just put your designation, whatever it is. I hope we are clear.
Usually we put regards in an email. So you can say regards and then your name and designation.
Exactly, yeah.
Keeping. Pavani Dharmana, I don't understand your question.
You can unmute and speak, Pavani, if you want.
Short name is not advisable in emails if it is in a formal scenario. You have to put your full name.
And even no short forms like acronyms, which we spoke about, TTYL and ASAP. You are not supposed to use short forms also in a professional and informal, in a formal mail. In an informal mail, it can be anything, but in a formal mail, which is related to your job, your inquiry for a job, or you're writing a mail to find out if the posting is still there, you can't just say okay, reply back or revert ASAP. You can't use that ASAP there. So here again, grammar, punctuation, everything plays a vital role, right? So you cannot use short forms, short abbreviations, which is called.
After greetings, you need to start in the new para. Someone has asked that question. After greetings, please start in the new paragraph.
Shilpa ma'am,
Yes, sir.
yeah, is it audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Is there any session it continues or shall we go on? It's
Sir,
finished, right?
we are waiting
No,
for
one Mr. Vomi Sridhar. Your question is how can you develop reading ability among rural children? Can suggest some tips, ma'am. Sir, can you unmute yourself and speak? Mr. Sridhar.
Yes, madam. I am Sridhar, madam. I am working as school assistant at JP School, Utupur, madam. The
Yes.
children are poor in reading, madam, whereas they are very good at the writing, madam.
Yes, sir. So,
Yes, madam. How can I develop, madam?
sir, you need to motivate them towards reading, sir. That's the best way I would say. You can tell them stories. See, when they listen to stories, automatically they develop some interest that they need to read stories.
Yes, madam.
So, unless they have the attraction towards stories, they will not start reading. You give them a storybook and say, you please read this storybook. No, you have to conduct a storytelling session from, someone who is doing it very nicely, interesting way with all the sounds and things. And then when you motivate them to read stories, they will start reading. You can organize a reading club in your school, sir. You can just put 10 children together, get small books, make them read small level books, and you can be the moderator for that.
Thank you, madam.
Yes, that's the best way, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
Yes.
I would like to add something. Maybe you can also ask them to read and tell it in their own words. So that will also give them a lot of motivation to speak out.
Is there any questions from the participants, or else we could move for Thanksgiving session, ma'am, please?
Yes, sir.
Okay. My screen is visible. Huh?
Yes, sir.
All the participants could please pin me my presentation so that when I'm giving a thanks, no, you could see the pictures of the concern. That's why. Also, I like to play a small video, not even a 2 minutes it will consist. And that is actually the reason behind conduct of this program. Is it full screen it comes to you?
Yes,
Bhaskar,
sir.
sir?
Yes, sir.
Is it the full screen? Okay, thank you. Thank you all for a very good support and excellent cooperation. And I'm delighted with the 3 days execution of the program as we scheduled properly. And even the time management was very pakka, I feel I myself. And this is a time to thank everyone who have involved in actively and really supported with good heartedly. Good evening again. And before going to this Thanksgiving, I like to play this small video. Please carefully watch. Not even 2 minutes will go. Why this program is conducted. have you seen all this 2 minutes of the advertisement from a business language uh, teaching institute? Anyone could respond? Excuse me.
Sir, we couldn't see it fully. It was breaking and there was no audio actually. Sorry.
Audio was played, it seems.
No, sir, but you could even see the chat box. They say audio
Now?
isn't there.
Now?
No, sir. No audio. You can see Kiran Raj is also typing no audio, no audio. It's not clear, sir. Ask
Oh,
them
yes,
to
ma'am. Yes,
again
ma'am.
play it
Yeah,
again.
understood. I'll play it, madam. I'll play it, madam. It takes only 2 minutes.
Okay, sir.
Now? Now, ma'am?
No, sir. Nothing is there on the screen. It's black. You can see the chat box.
Now it sounds coming, right? Visual alone also enough.
No, nothing. No, only the fish and one cat was there.
Yeah, yes, observe, ask them to observe.
Okay. Sir, please reshare your screen, sir. Please reshare it. We will be able to see it. Yes, sir. Now it's okay, sir. So no audio, but yet no audio.
Okay. Hope you have seen that at least video. Uh,
Yes, sir.
The actual video is telling that a cat appears into the home. There was a fish tank. A golden fish is swimming inside. The cat about to catch and eat that fish. But when it gets head into the fish tank, the fish replies with a dog kind of barking sound. So it indicates that when you have your own values alone, you cannot defend the external enemy when it comes in. Whereas when you know the another language, you could defend it very well. That's what. And we'll move to the next slide. Our Honorable Vice Chancellor, I would like to thank for his excellency and his fullest support and cooperation generously extended to our program. With his presence, with his valuable time contributed towards inaugurating our program is commendable. In this regard, I like to thank him for his wonderful inaugural address. Second, our patron, Professor V.S. Vasantha Madam, Registrar, Madurai Kamaraj University, for her commendable cooperation during the time of giving permissions in many a stage of this particular program. Also, her wishes towards this particular program, and today she also spent her quality time in providing the valedictory address to all the gatherings today. Sorry, my another phone was technical glitches. And I'd like to thank our Honorable Dr. J. Vijay sir, Directorate of Distance Education, for his fullest cooperation with the real encouragement throughout this 3 days program. Whatever the program, with the request we go to him, he usually gives the fullest support. He encourages with the positive words. Thank you, sir. And I'd like to thank my head of the department and co-convener, Dr. R. Managa Madam, Assistant Professor, Department of Management Studies, Director of Distance Education, for her excellent cooperation and support during this program. Also, I'd like to thank Dr. V. Vidyachallam, Co-Coordinator, Assistant Professor, Department of Management Studies, for her support too. Also, I'd like to thank Dr. T. Megarajan, my colleague, co-coordinator of this particular program, for his extended helping hands. And I should suppose to heartfelt thank should suppose to goes towards Mr. M. Bhaskaran for his tireless cooperation. Though he is so busy in IQSC preparation and working in some other department, he hand in glove with me, and he has completely given his time, energy towards this particular program to conduct a smooth conduct of this program. And it is most important that our two pillars of this particular program, as a resource person, Mrs. Radharani Madam and Mrs. Shilpa Madam. These two, when I am interacted with to conduct this program, they generously accepted my invitation, and they very well prepared that, sir, this is the kind of program we need at least a month of time to convey all the skills required for effective communication or effectively learn this language. But you are giving only 3 days to conduct that. Anyhow, in English, there is a word we call that PVT. Short and simple, whatever the best we could do, that we'll do it, sir. During this pandemic duration also, for anything, everything, bringing into a capsule size and giving to people as a ready-made intake. So they have did it wonderfully, the groundwork preparations, and the execution was highly commendable. In the first day, they have thought about that self-introduction, purpose of this particular program, and why this English is important, and they debriefed everything, and they made you to understand why this particular English is all about. And also they gave the brief overview about LSRW concept. And then the second day they talk to you is that about the first two skills. We call it as that the reading and listening and speaking. So they covered in listening concept the importance of listening and communication, the sub skills in listening, and in speaking they have taught about this importance of speaking in communication, the major sub skills available in speaking, and barriers while speaking, and how to improve the speaking, all those concepts. And also today they made us that clear cut and precisely stated about the remaining two skills about reading and writing. Reading is an essential skill they transfer today, and the sub skills in reading. Reading is fun, and they motivated how to get motivation towards reading. They said, and importance of vocabulary in reading, they clearly shared with you. And about writing, there are, as they really mentioned, how to recognize the importance of writing in communication. And the ultimate structure which is prevailing in writing, they say, and importance of sentence structure, vocabulary, punctuations, alignment, and tone in writing. And lastly, they have also included the email etiquettes. Everybody what they are doing it now. Also, I like to thank the mastering ceremony given by I. Nandini excellently even during the time of pandemic. Her time toward this particular program is commendable. Also, I like to thank such kind of mentoring by Mr. Stephen Chennachami sir for his cooperation and excellent support. Also, thanks to Ma'am Sindhu Krishnan for friendly approach and encouragement during conduct of this particular program. And very importantly, I like to congratulate and I like to happily state that all the participants, actually we got rhythmically 5,657 respondents were registered for this particular program, and lively almost 1,000 people are attending every day, both in Google Meet and YouTube, and others were watching in the evening time. And so I like to thank all the participants for your patience listening and wonderful support in understanding the concept that we are trying to give to you. Also, I like to thank once again my Honorable Director, our Chief Patron, Vice Chancellor, our Patron, Registrar Madam. Also, I thank PA to VC Sir, PA to Registrar Madam, and some media who are all covering our program. And apart from that, there are plenty and humpty numbers of good hearts and souls towards this particular program. And they brought lots of good vibrations in me, and they supported, appreciated, and they were positively motivated me. I extend my heartfelt thanks to all those people. And at the outset, again, I thank the Almighty for giving me the strength and supportive alternatives in all the times whenever I was lacuna in execution or strength got lowered. So I thank Almighty again for conducting this particular program. Thank you very much, my dear friend. Expecting that even more programs will be conducted for the benefit of the society, students, and the academic fraternity. Your cooperation, your support, always facilitating me and encouraging me. So I expect your even more support in the ensuing era too. Thank you, my dear friends. Thank you once again, please.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. Thanks
Thank you,
for
Ola.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, and thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, participants.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you. Thanks a lot.
Once again, thank you, Ola.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you a lot, ma'am, and all who made this done. Thank you so, so much.
Yes.